Hey guys, it's Richard with RichMade Knives, and it's been a little while since I did a video, probably a week, week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Part of the reason for that is because I have been hard at work in the workshop getting ready for Blade Show and trying to knock out as many knives as possible, including some senior chiefs and some first class. So this video is to show you the knives that I finished that I'll be bringing with me to Blade Show, which is in about 4 more days, starts in about 4 more days. So I'll be bringing these knives with me to Blade Show. Although I don't have a table, I will be walking around the show. I will be wearing a RichMade Knives t-shirt, and so I'll have a big logo on the back with my RichMade Knives logo on it and my RichMade Knives name. So if you guys see me, if you're coming to Blade Show and you see me, just stop and say hello. If you're interested in buying one of my knives, you can reach me by texting me or calling me, and my phone number I will put in the comments or in the link down below. And you're welcome to text or call me, and we can certainly meet up and you can take a look at my knives. I also am planning to be in the pit. For those of you who have been to Blade Show, you know what the pit is. For those of you who have not been to Blade Show, the pit is a common area in the Waverly Hotel, which is located right next to the convention center where they have the Blade Show. And the pit goes on every night after Blade Show. Again, I'll be wearing my shirt. I'll have a hat on with my logo on it. So if you guys see me in the pit and you're interested in purchasing any one of these knives, or just want to say hello, or just want to check out one of these knives, please stop by, shake my hand, and it'll be nice to meet those of you who have seen my videos on YouTube. Okay, so what I wanted to do today, and I've been promising that I would do this, is I wanted to show off all of the knives that I have finished and that I'm bringing to Blade Show. I have finished other knives other than these. Some of them have shipped off to customers. Some of them I've kept. Some of them have been a learning knife, which I don't consider to be, of a point yet where I would want to sell them. So these are the knives that I have built recently, and these are the knives that I'll be bringing with me to Blade Show. So I'm going to readjust the camera, and I'm going to turn you guys down here so you can see down here where the knives are, okay? All right, hopefully you will be able to see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to start off showing you the first class. The first class is my kind of pocket-friendly, smaller flipper knife, and those are going to come in a zipper pouch case like this. So this is the case that they'll come in. And inside the case will be the knife, and every one of my knives comes with a birth certificate. And on this one side it has my business card on one side, and on the back it has the information about the knife. So it has the date that the knife was made, detail about what model it is, and a description of the knife, including the steel and my signature. So first knife here, this first class, is one of my early knives. This is number 2. This is only the second first class that I ever made. So one of the things I want to mention is that it's been an evolution for me. So I've only probably made before the batch of knives you're seeing here, I've probably only made 3 or 4 other folders. So each one of my knives gets a little bit better as I learn more. So some of the early knives are not as perfect as I would like them to be, because, as I said, I'm learning as I go along. But this one is blue anode, and it has a gold stripe milled out on both sides. It has a bronze pocket clip. It has a satin blade and a close to a full flat grind, but almost all the way to the top. And then it's got my logo in it. This one is, because this is number 2, it's an early knife. It still flips really well. Trying to see how to get you best in camera here. Still flips really well and has great action. Okay, so that is first class number 2. Okay, this knife is kind of a special piece. This one is a knife that I built with my son. He's grown up, but he wanted to learn how to make a knife. And so this was a knife that he and I made together. And this one is special and probably the only one that will ever be made like this, that it has thin titanium handles. So it's very, very slim. You see how thin the titanium is there? And then it's flamed, so there's blue stripes and copper stripes or bronze stripes. Little carved pocket clip there. And this one is also interesting because it's the only one so far where I did a etch on the grind, and then I did a satin polish or satin finish on the flats. Okay, very early lockup. And this one also has great action. So this is first class number 3. Okay, and I'm going to set them out on the table here so that when I'm done you can see all the knives that are coming to Blade Show as one set. Okay, the next one is, let's go in order here. The next one is first class number 4. Yep, this one's number 4. So this one is a special piece because it has engine turned finish on the handles. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but they're little swirly circles all overlaid onto each other on the titanium. Each one of those done individually with a drill press and a abrasive stick that creates those little circles. And it's all done on the back too. And I did the pocket clip in a silver. Left it the silver color to give it a contrast, which I think looks kind of cool. And then you have the blue ano in the bolster. You have a milled line right here, milled at an angle. And then this is gold right here, and then this is blue on the bolster section. And then this one has a Vulcan blade, and so what I mean by that is that this is directly out of the oven, so I didn't do any finish work to this blade. It's kind of a rough oven heat treated finish, and then I put it in the tumbler to give it a tumbled finish, a stone wash finish. Okay, so that is first class number 4, and this one has just butter smooth action, butter smooth. Okay, that one is number 4, and then here is number 5. If any of you guys follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you may have already seen pictures of some of these. This one is fully carved. So I carved this up using grinding wheels on both sides, including the pocket clip, and I ground on the blade on both sides. And I did a rough up or a weathered look on the hardware to go along with it, and then this has a dark finish done using OxyClean oxidation method. And it has a dark etch on the blade and then tumbled. So dark etch blade, and I think it matches up really nicely with the dark finish on the handles and the carving. This one is butter smooth too. Okay, so these are all flippers. Every knife I've made here is a flipper. I'm partial to flippers. I'm not a big thumb stud opener guy. I prefer flipping knives just because I like how easy it is to open them with one finger. Okay, so that is first class number 4. Okay, so those are all the first classes. There's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 first classes. Okay, now let's go into the senior chief models. So we'll move these back and I'll show you the senior chiefs. So the senior chiefs are coming, this is the presentation on the senior chief. It is coming with in a watertight case, little clam case, made out of hard plastic. And I put my sticker on the front there so you would know which knife maker it was. It says RichMade Knives on there. And then you flip this tab up on the front and then you lift it up. And inside the lid here I put a sticker with my RichMade logo. And then on this side I put a sticker and it says Senior Chief, U.S. Navy, and it's got a skull and crossbones, kind of a cool. This is not an original logo. I did just get this off of the internet, but thought it was suitable and it fits the knife, I think, pretty well. So, and then inside the case here, the knife is packaged in bubble wrap, and then underneath that is your birth certificate, and then underneath that is a spare sticker that you guys can use to stick on whatever you want. And also I do want to mention that anyone who buys a knife will also get a RichMade patch. I had a bunch of patches made of my logo, and those will come with each knife as well. So this one is Senior Chief number 3. And this one has holes, milled holes on both sides. On the bottom here, on the front here, and then on the pocket clip. And it is anode bronze on the flats and blue on the inside and blue through the holes. And then a blue pocket clip, and it's hard to see, but there's blue on the inside as well. On the inside of each handle is blue. And this one is a cleaver with the hole here. The hole is really not intended to open for opening. It's there for aesthetic purposes. And it's a satin finish on the blade. And it's very, very thick stock. Thick titanium and thick blade. And this one has great action given how big of a knife blade that is. Okay? Trying to figure out the best way on this camera to show you guys the flipping action. It's got great sound. Okay, so that is Senior Chief number 3. I think I might have gotten them slightly out of order, but so that's the first Senior Chief. I think this one is Senior Chief number 2. Yeah, this one here is Senior Chief number 2. If you're wondering where number 1 is, number 1's not going to be for sale. I'm going to keep that one. So this one is even thicker. This one is mega beast thickness on the handles and super, super thick blade. This one is anode blue. And then this piece right here is a piece of copper that I milled out a little pocket and set the copper piece in, and then put in 2 screws, and then I flamed the 2 screws bronze so that they kind of go with the copper look there. And then I bronze on the pocket clip. And this one is a sheep's foot blade, satin finish, super thick stock. And one of the things that's probably going to be hard for me to catch on camera, but I actually milled out the inside of this titanium to lighten up the weight. I don't know if you can see that in there, but the titanium inside underneath here is actually milled out as much as pretty much as much as I could to lighten up the weight on this. So this one is about the same weight as a regular Senior Chief without the super thick handles, because I milled out the inside. And this one is just fires like a rocket and is loud, has a great loud sound as well. And has, for being such a big blade, again, has really, just really great action. Okay, so this one's number 2, this one's number 3. These may be, just if you guys are interested, for those of you collectors who are interested in uniqueness, these may be the only thick knives I make, because I've settled on the thinner titanium and the thinner blade stock. I just think that it makes for a little bit friendlier carry. So these two super thick ones may be a rarity. I do still have some thick titanium. I do still have thick steel available, so I can make more of these, but probably the only way I would is if someone orders one of these, as opposed to just making them. So if you want to order a custom Senior Chief and you want the super thick stock, let me know. I can do that for you, but these are probably going to be a pretty rare configuration, just because of the fact that they're so thick. Okay. Now let's move on to what's probably going to be a more standard layout for the Senior Chiefs. So this one is a cleaver, this one is a sheep's foot. These next 3 are all Tinto style blades. I know a lot of you really are interested in these, and you're interested in, you have your own certain blade shapes, but I do want to mention that any blade shape is available. I'm happy to do any particular blade shape that anybody wants. So if you're interested in a different blade shape when you order yours, just let me know. So just wanted to note that yes, the rest of these are all Tinto blades, but that's not a requirement that they have to be. That's just, I really wanted to do a Tinto, and I kind of got off on a tangent there and just decided to start making a whole bunch of Tintos, and started playing around with the grinds quite a bit and really fell in love with it. So this one is probably what will be considered the normal thickness of a Senior Chief. So it's about 0.125 titanium and 0.125 on the blade. And this one, I did a video on this one and posted quite a few pictures. This one is carved here using a Dremel tool with a million little carve out holes. It has the distressed hardware, and it has a Tinto grind, dark etch and tumbled. And the titanium was flamed bronze with a little bit of blue mixed in, and then tumbled to give it a very weathered look, with a Tinto grind and a top swedge. This is the first time I ever did multiple grinds on a blade before. So I ground this edge here, then I ground this edge here, then I ground the top to give it that thinner, has a thinner profile along the top edge, and I think just makes for overall just a great looking blade. And obviously making these kind of grinds is a lot more work than doing a single grind, but I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could do it, and I'm very happy with the way that it came out. And this one has just fantastic action, super smooth, and great sound. Very early lockup on all these. Okay, so that one is, let's see, 2, 3, 4. This would be number 4. Okay, on to the next one. That's the last one. On to the next one, which is this one. This one is blue. It's carved using a grinding wheel, and then anode blue, and then tumbled. And when you tumble it, it removes most of the blue off of the flats and leaves a lot more of the blue in the engraved out sections, carved out sections. Matching carved pocket clip. Again, the same style blade, Tinto grind with 3 grinds, the main grind, the Tinto portion of the grind, and then an up swedge on the grind on both sides, and dark etched and tumbled. And again, fantastic action, fantastic sound, just overall a beautiful, beautiful knife. Okay, so that one is Senior Chief number 5. We'll move these over here. And then the final knife, this one is Senior Chief number 6. This one is very similar to number 5. It's carved, except I did this one in bronze, dark bronze, close to copper, and then tumbled it on both sides with a matching pocket clip. And you'll probably notice that I like to play around with the pocket clip designs. I don't have a, there's no set style for the pocket clip. I just go with what I think would look nice and try out different things. And so I think they both look pretty cool. One of the things that you may notice, if I can get these all on my hands here, sorry, this is going to be a longer video, but one of the things that you're probably going to notice in the evolution of these here is the placement of the screws on the back. So you'll notice on this one, there's a standoff here and a standoff here. This one, the 2 standoffs are at the bottom part of the back. And on this one, there's one standoff along the bottom corner and the other standoff on the bottom corner. The reason for that is because I'm trying to maximize the amount of steel, the length of the blade I can get into the handles. So on this one, if I can get it right at the edge there, you'll see where the blade comes pretty close to the edge of the titanium right there. But, you can only come so close because you'll hit the standoff on the top if you get too far out. So barely clears it. Got as much in there as I could on that one. And then on this one, I moved the standoff to the middle of the back. So you'll notice that I was able to get a little bit more blade. So you see it's right there. It's pretty darn close to the edge of the titanium. So you get more blade length and just fitting the blade inside the handles. And then on this one, I maximized it to the most extent possible. Look at how much space that one, how close that one is to the edge. So I think it makes for a little bit, proportionally, a little bit nicer overall look, because you end up with a handle that's almost as long as the blade. So this one has this most complicated grind of any of the Senior Chiefs. You will note what I did here, which is exactly what I was after, is rather than running the primary grind right off the edge, I stopped right there. So you have a rough grind, edge of the grind here, edge of the grind here, and then you have the Tinto portion of the grind here, and then the top swedge. So you end up with this cool looking little triangle right here at the end. And the same thing on this side, and matching the 2 sides up to where this is the same size and everything is no small feat. This is quite a bit of work to get it symmetrical on both sides. But I was up to the challenge, and I really wanted to try. I've been wanting to try this grind because I've got this grind on a couple of other custom knife makers, and I always thought it was just so cool to have this primary grind just stop like that, and then do the front grind to match up with it. And it's not machine perfect. It's there's a human being involved in this. This is my hands grinding these with my eyes, and so I don't ever expect that I'm looking to get a machine level of perfection, but I'm very happy. I mean, it came out, the symmetry on this is very, very good. And this one is another Vulcan finish, meaning that this is the way the blade looked right out of the oven. No post-process work done to the steel other than tumbling it. So I take it right out of my oven, I then temper the blade, and then I take it out of the oven and let it cool off and keep its natural color. So this is the way it looks coming out of the oven. This is the color it has. And then from there, I just throw it into my tumbler and I just let the tumbler go to town on it. And this is probably a good 3 to 4 hours in the tumbler after the oven. So you'll notice that the edge on this one came out really nice. I sharpened right through the bevel, the dual grind there to give it a nice straight edge, which I think looks really cool. I'll be careful I don't cut myself because it is super sharp. So this one is Senior Chief number 6, and again it's carved with bronze anno. Okay, so that's it. That's all of the knives that I'm bringing to Blade Show. Line them up here so you can see them all. Do a quick recap. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 first class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Senior Chiefs. In general, the pricing is my general pricing on these is the first classes are $350 and the Senior Chiefs are $400. Now, where does the pricing come from? Well, for those of you who collect knives, you know that getting a handmade custom knife, flipping knife for $400 is pretty much unheard of. I'll put myself back in the frame here to close out. And I'm doing that because, you know, I'm new, I'm learning. You're getting knives that are being made from a knife maker who's just getting started. I'm not making I'm not making knives for a living. I have a day job. I just do this as kind of an enjoyment thing because I started out collecting knives, and from there I received some knives that I thought needed some work, so I started customizing those knives that I owned of my own. I then started customizing knives for others, and then the natural evolution for me was, okay, I want to make one of these. How hard is it? Let's learn how to do it. So I kind of taught myself how to make these knives, watched a lot of YouTube videos, talked to other makers, and learned a lot by trial and error. And I'm still learning every single day, every single time I make a knife. So my pricing is the way that it is because I'm not trying to make a big profit off of these knives. I'm just trying to get my work out there. And so this, you know, I guess what I'm saying is that as I tool up and as time passes, I suspect prices will probably go up. But for now, you know, maybe it's an opportunity for you guys to grab one of these at what I think is a great price. So I probably am going to do some special pricing on these two because they're very, very early knives. And this one is a thin-handled knife that is never going to be made again. And this one was made really just to teach my son how to make a knife. So I'll probably, you know, be open to a deal on this one and then on this one, because this one is an early example of what the first class started out to look like. And I've since changed the design a little bit. The top bolster here is a little bit more pronounced. The blade shape is changed now to where it's more of a up swoop here than on this one. So this one is very early in the goings. This one was a learning knife, so these two are going to probably be a deal. But these two are going to definitely be $350. These are awesome, awesome knives. They flip absolutely beautifully. Superb action. They feel fantastic in the hands. They ride great in the pocket, and I think you guys are really going to love them. And then as far as the Senior Chiefs go, These have really been a labor of love, and I've really enjoyed the evolutionary process that I've been taking to get these, to build these, and to get the different blade shapes and get the grinds, and trying to fit as much steel as I can inside the titanium handles. So, you know, bringing the top up and maximizing the length. And then when it's open, you'll see that the handle, I mean, the steel is really tall in comparison to the handle. So I've been thinning the handles down and you know, focusing on making the steel as much of a prominent component of the knife as the handles are. Okay, so those are all the knives that are coming with me to Blade Show. I will be bringing some of my collection with me. Mainly the main knives I'll be bringing from my collection are the knives that I'm interested in potentially trading. So I might do a video on the knives that I'm bringing to Blade Show that are not my knives, that are, excuse me, part of my collection, that are available either for sale or for trade. And then I'm bringing a couple of special pieces just to kind of show off some, what I think are some special knives in my collection. Okay, so that's about 30 minutes. Sorry it's a long video, but I wanted to show off the current state of all the knives that I've built so far, and what I'm bringing to Blade Show. So Richard with RichMade Knives, thanks for watching my video. If I see you at Blade Show or you see me, please stop by and say hi. Thank you.